Welcome everyone, I'm Deb Rock-Evans coming into you from Auckland, New Zealand, and I'm delighted that you can be with us today here live as well as on Zoom. It's so good to have you here, thanks for checking it out. Today's session is quite a lot different to what we normally do. We are going to take you through a LifeWave product info session with a real focus on health and wellness practitioners and coaches in terms of looking at how they can add this to their tool belt and incorporate it into their existing practices, because we can guarantee you there is a beautiful alignment for many of you. And we have a few people sharing today around how they have incorporated it into their business practice with great success, and talking about, we'd love to end with a Q&A today around and brainstorm around what that could look like for you and if it's a viable alignment and partner for you. So without further ado, we've got a very special guest with us we're lucky to have here in New Zealand, Tessa Tremain, who is the leader in LifeWave in Australia. I'm going to say that like that, Tessa. I'm going to just be like, oh, don't. But she is. She has built an incredible business, mainly in Australia, but branching out into other countries. And this, guys, is the beauty of this, because you may have a very successful practice right now where you are in your local region, but this business can take you global as well and build a sustainable, leveraged income that can see you and your family through whatever rough times are coming. And let's face it, it's a pretty unstable out there at the moment. So the more options that we've got, the more income streams and side hustles that we can bring into our work, the better off we're going to be. So I would love to introduce you to Tessa Tremain. She's going to be taking us through the slides today. So we're going to start off by talking about the products and mainly with a focus on X39. And I'll let you introduce yourself, how you got in the business, Tessa, and leave it in your capable hands. Thanks.
Amazing. It's so lovely to be with you all, and I'm excited to have this opportunity with not only live people in the room, a screen to my right, and obviously you guys online, so welcome. As Deb said, my name is Tessa Tremain. I am not a practitioner. I am not, and I was never in the health and wellness, except that I am a healthy and well person just because I choose to have that lifestyle. But as a single mum for the last 15 years, I was like many people in our world who were just struggling to make ends meet. 3 years ago, I was introduced to this incredible patch. And it actually changed my life to the point where I now have thousands and thousands of people within a business, a group around 15 countries, and many of those people are doctors or wellness experts like yourselves. We're really blessed today to have two functional nutritionists, doctor people, excuse the doctor people, but I am not medical, I won't make any claims, and I can't make any promises or anything. How this patch works on you, being a natural product, is totally up to your body. So the question is, have you been patched yet? So with this business, it is just a tiny little patch that looks like this here, okay? It is just something you can place on your body. It was introduced by David Schmidt, who is our CEO and our inventor. So David Schmidt started the business in 2004. He was working for himself as a scientist. So what he did is he was asked to integrate this into, or to create something that would keep the Navy SEALs awake on deployment. He was working for the American government at the time. Accidentally came across something that integrated light therapy and created the energy for these guys, which was so amazing that he was able to, thank you, I'm trying to talk here, and a bit of distraction going on in the background. And what he did is he came across this amazing product, but because of a 9/11 happening and money went from weapons to war, from research to weapons to warfare, there was no money left for him. So he was out of a job, and he went back to the lab and discovered some incredible products. 10 years later, he spent a lot of money and researched the stem cell industry, as you can see here. You can go back to the video if you like. We're just going to play a quick video. Please watch it, and then we'll move on. Thank you.
A life empowered is closer than you think. We're all looking for a better way. Reimagine what's next with a new sense of exuberance. Why not power on like you mean it? Or power off blissfully? A better sleep is a better awake. You've never moved like this before. With the energy nature intended. Imagine reprogramming the way you look at the speed of science. At longevity. At exhilaration. It's next level rejuvenation. Take control of your well-being from the inside out and outside in. The light within is ready to ignite. Be the light. LifeWave.
We've got such a great product, and David Schmidt, he invented this product that it actually activates our own dormant stem cells, and he has 200 patents, over 200 patents. You know, most of us don't even have one patent. And a patent means that it's been double-blind tested, it's been third-party tested, it's been through all the rigmarole and regulations to assure that it does work. And if you read the fine print there, it will say that it elevates our copper peptides, it activates our stem cells, improves our energy, elevates our antioxidants, reduces inflammation, manages our pain, improvement in stamina, etc., etc. As I said before, a disclaimer is that we can't promise that if you put a patch on, it will do that for you. What we have found and what you're going to hear today is why it could very well do that. Thank you, Andy. So LifeWave just won at the end of last year, the Biotech Award for 2025, and there were thousands of nominations from many, many different countries. Now, to get a stem cell innovation of the year means that they're pretty cluey, and we have a very incredible man who's behind this. So pretty exciting to know that we do come with those accolades. Thanks, Andy. So why stem cell activation patch? Why this patch? Why do you need to look at this? So what it does is it makes up every organ in our body, and as we age, our stem cells actually decline. You know, it doesn't mean we've got any less, it's just they stop working. Doctors don't tell you that they stop working. And at age 30, half of them are, and by the time we're 60, we've got about 5% left.
Wow.
And so, you know, that's just, that's huge, because they're still in our body, but they're like, I guess if you think of an apple falling from a tree, it oxidizes and it dies. You don't pick up an apple off the ground and eat it. You know, it's not at its full potential than the ones that are hanging on the tree. So this is why we need to activate our stem cells. Thanks. So how does it work? It's a proprietary form of phototherapy. When it says nanocrystal technology, they're just minute, minuscule, tiny crystalline structures, so that's salts, sugars, and amino acids that make up these patches. There's no drugs, chemicals, or stimulants that go into our skin, and they do reflect our own body light to activate themselves. So when we put it on, that body heat and light that we have, when you look at people through night vision goggles, you'll see that we glow, and so that we are activating into ourselves. That activates our copper peptides, which is a natural peptide in our body, and that tells our dormant stem cells to awaken. It's non-transdermal and it's non-invasive. The benefits of wearing it: increased strength, mental clarity, just incredible. Just gets rid of brain fog, it reduces the inflammation in our body. You would know that 99% of all disease starts with inflammation. Restored muscle and skeletal conditions. My mum, for instance, was really bad old woman osteo, bad bone density. After 2 years of patching, she's now got on the lowest young woman osteo, which is huge. Such a reversal for her. Improves our sleep, increases our stamina, doubles your performance, halves your recovery, gives lots of energy, and improves our skin appearance. For me, it was sciatica pain, arthritis, eyesight reversed, a whole bunch of things. Thanks. Next slide. So the long-term results: 4,000 of our genes begin to reset straight away. And that's pretty amazing. That's a third of our whole genome. Our brain becomes balanced after about 3 weeks. We can think clear, which is, something that people are really noticing, that fuzziness, that brain fog that is very common out there. Collagen increases. I started at 59. I'm now 62. And for me, it's not just the collagen in your skin, but it's the collagen in every organ in your body. And our heart reverses in age. They did a study, clinical study, where 14 out of 15 people had their heart age reversed after 6 months on the patch for 8 years. That's huge. And I actually have a gentleman who's been patching now for 3 years, as cardiologist. He's in his 70s. Can't believe the change in his heart age. Thank you. So this one's is a goodie. It's a topography map. She's a 77-year-old woman. You can see from that brain scan that she has inflammation in her brain. When you've got inflammation in your brain, obviously she had lack of brain coherence, but what that does is it can also cause things like strokes, Alzheimer's, dementia, and not to mention a whole bunch of other things. After 3 weeks on X39, you can see there was no more inflammation. And after 6 weeks, wow. So a complete turnaround and full brain coherence for her. It was a game changer for her and a real life, life event in that lady's life. Thank you. So what we're going to do, I do believe, is go to some testimonies, and we're going to bring on Sally Ann, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep.
So
Absolutely.
click slides and bring in Sally Ann.
I'll just go introduce Sally Ann in the meantime.
And I'll be back.
Okay. Hey everyone, so I'm really excited to introduce Sally Ann Kearns. She's a functional nutritional therapy practitioner and the founder of Stop Pain Naturally, where she supports people experiencing pain, inflammation, fatigue, and low vitality through a holistic root cause approach to health. And what I really love about Sally Ann is that she doesn't chase quick fixes. She focuses on helping people create the right conditions for their body to repair, restore, and function the way it was designed to. And over time, she began incorporating X39 wearable wellness technology into her broader wellness approach as another supportive tool for clients looking to improve their energy, recovery, inflammation, mobility, mental clarity, and overall vitality and healthy aging, all the things that Tessa was just telling us about. So Sally Ann's going to share her insights later on today, but for now we'd love to hear your testimonial, Sally Ann, on what it's done for you and your family.
Absolutely. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Tessa. It's always tricky trying to do a multifaceted day of events. So Sally Ann here, look, when this technology came into my world, to be really truthful, I was not looking for something else to do or to add into my clinical practice. I was already busy, but to be truthful, I was a bit destitute at the time because my husband was debilitated with lower back pain, and all the things that we're told to do in the conventional world, chiropractic care, getting the MRIs, going to the doctor to seek solutions, were just simply not working for him. And I had ex-partner suicide from back pain, so it was bringing up all of these emotions. We had 2 young children, and at the time one was still at home and was too young for school, so we had this financial dependency on my husband to be able to work. And so when he couldn't work, these thoughts started rolling around my mind. And so one night I just remember really just kind of giving up and going, I don't know what else to do to support him. I'm a practitioner. I'm used to supporting people with their health challenges, but this one I've literally got no more tools to kind of throw at him. And a beautiful friend, Misha, who lives, we all lived in Mudgee at the time, but rang me actually, and not specifically about this, but to catch up with for lunch. And so I caught up with her for lunch, and she shared with me how she'd had significant changes to the bursitis in her knee that was stopping her from gardening, which was something that she loved. And I really at the time thought, you know what, maybe this is something that could help Ray. In all fairness, I didn't really have a lot of hope in a tiny little sticker doing anything. This was not working for my rational brain. But to be fair, I'd just run out of options. And so when we popped this on my husband, of course, being a practitioner, I wanted to get a baseline. And so his discomfort was 8 out of 10. And that was at 8 o'clock in the morning. By 3 o'clock that afternoon, it was a 3 out of 10. And by the end of the first week, it was a 1. And it never came back again. It never came back again. So for me, my own transformation wasn't as significant in the way of I wasn't struggling with daily or chronic pain, but I had a postpartum hemorrhoid since birthing my children. And that had gone on for 6 years. And I had really looked at I've done a lot of liver work. I knew that I'd had underlying health conditions and genetic dispositions to, not methylating well, but nothing had shifted. But 6 weeks into patching, it actually got worse for a few days, to the point where I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do here? And then it left and it never came back again. And when I started to look more deeply into the vascular studies that Tessa mentioned around the heart, that pathway, inclusive of varicose veins, is all part of the vascular system. And so when my body went into balance again, that really started to compound. So that was the big aha. And then 6 months in, I just remember looking at my husband and saying, wow, I actually have, for the first time ever, the absence of anxiety. And it was a clarity, it was this sharpness of focus. It was, the world looked different. And I didn't even know that I'd had anxiety until it left. So that was at the 6 month mark. So I think for me, this has been a toolkit that I've been using in my own life. I have patched my children, although there's no studies in terms of efficacy on children, but I used my discretion as a mother, particularly when my son in December cut his thumb in half, literally straight down to the bone. The first thing that I reached for was the patches in terms of pain management and just supporting him in until we could get some medical care. So it's certainly something that I feel really empowered in as a mother, having on hand. And also using daily. It's been 3.5 years that I've used this technology, and I feel younger and more youthful. Last year, my husband and I, I'm 45, my husband's 51, we started doing martial arts with our 7 and 9-year-olds. So to be able to do that, bouncing back from what the injuries were with the degradation in my husband's discs, is a real blessing, because I feel like we're actually living life really intentionally now. So yeah, we're really grateful.
Yeah, personal experiences with it and with your family. And let's face it, most practitioners are going to do that first, aren't they? They're going to test whatever new modality they're looking at on their family and look for the results. So next, I'd just like to introduce you to Natalie Cutler-Welsh. She's here in Auckland, and she's hosting us today at her house. And Natalie is a coach and the founder of Up Your Brave movement, and she works with a lot of people in this industry, in the health and wellness industry. So she's got a lot of clients that she knows will be interested in this, and she's got some tips for some of them today, right, Nat?
Yeah.
Cool, thanks a lot.
Hey guys, how are you? I would love it if you guys can comment in the chat. Let us know, I guess it's like, what is your niche? Like basically you can say I'm a practitioner, or I'm a homeopath, a naturopath. Maybe you're a coach. You might say life coach, business coach. So if you guys can just pop that in the chat. And also I know that we are also going to be sending the replay to people that couldn't make it live. So get in touch with us and let us know. But one of the things I've noticed in my 14, probably 15 years now, as a business coach, really helping people with primarily visibility, but also empowerment in their business. And one of the things I've noticed is some people, a lot of women, tend to leave themselves kind of vulnerable, meaning they have one thing they do and they do it great, but then if they suddenly can't do that thing, they're a little vulnerable. So for example, a massage therapist that breaks their wrist, can't work. During the COVID years, so many of my peers, like me, were speakers. And a lot of them, they had conference after conference booked, and suddenly nothing. Like literally the rug was pulled out and they got, all their income was gone. So one of the things I love, and once I interviewed a woman and she said, word for word, she said, every smart woman should have some form of residual income in her business. I absolutely agree. And I think that's one of the reasons I love LifeWave. So a few reasons why I love it. I've only been doing it about 10 months. And I'm not a practitioner either, but I love to empower people. And a lot of what I do, and my business is called Go To Girl or Up Your Brave, and I help people to be empowered with their health and well-being. If you're a woman in business, how can you help others if you are not empowered yourself? Like you have the back pain or you have the menopausal migraine or whatever it might be. So one of the reasons I love LifeWave is it's so simple. I call it slap and go. So you can't see it. I don't know if you can see it. I have one on the back of my neck. That's one of the main points. And I love it because it's literally slap it on and get on with your day. I love that you don't have to stand there on a mat or holding a thing that's plugged into the wall or recharge something, because like that is not my superpower. My superpower is like making things happen. So I love that it's slap and go.
Yeah.
I also I also love that it's like literally one foundational product. So we're going to talk about it, X39. That is everyone needs the same thing. But what it does, it basically triages in your body. And it's for people that need gut health support, boom, it goes there. For someone that's migraine issues, boom, it goes there. And I like to say from everything from anti-aging, I'm 52, right? Everything from anti-aging through to arthritis to anxiety and everything in between. So I love that it's simple and people don't have to remember. And, I've got other products going on, but people have to learn and remember, and it's a lot of stuff to retain. X39 is the foundation. Yes, there's a few other supplementary patches for things, related to brain health or whatever, but I think the foundational patch is the key. So the simplicity, the slap and go, and the business model, I think is amazing. So that's my take on it as a coach for women, usually solopreneurs, who often just go, go, go and leave themselves a little vulnerable. If they get injured, they can't do their thing. So I'm open to any questions about that. We might do Q&A at the end. But did anyone comment in the chat about what their niche was?
Yes, we've got remedial massage therapists, ex-nurses, rongoa, aromatherapy,
Amazing.
nutritional practitioners,
Yes.
holistic health practitioner, life coach,
Great.
and functional nutrition.
Yeah. So right across the board, like so many women. And that's the thing is like I always say, I help the people who help the people. All of you ladies and maybe men who are watching the replay, you literally help the people. So it's like you need to be feeling good. And then if you can help other people feeling good, and they're still going to come see you in their clinic. This is just an add-on to your business that I think is a really, smart move. Every woman needs to have some form of residual income. And I totally agree. I hope that helps.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Natalie. That's great. Yeah, no, absolutely an add-on and even a speed up.
So when you've got a product that obviously works and is very duplicatable, because such a little patch is not something like I think Natalie spoke about, having to be plugged into something to sit there all day. This is something we just slap and patch and go. Patch and run or something.
Well, let's go.
And that's just so exactly how this is. It's wearable, it's easy, and it's duplicatable. And when you got something that's before, okay, we'll get to that in a minute. When you got something that is like that, you'll see that on these slides, the growth of the company. In 2021, just after COVID or during COVID, the company, even though I talked about 2004 at the beginning, it had grown to a $20 million company, which is pretty cool. But it wasn't, the X39 wasn't invented until COVID, until 2020. And so the growth hit as soon as it was released here in 2021. So the company went from 20 million to 320 million to 430 to 600 to almost $1 billion last year in 80 countries around the world. And when you've got that sort of growth, that trajectory of growth, you know that something's working. Their biggest seller is X39. So when you got something that works like that, then it actually creates an opportunity. Thanks. So opportunity happens when we create solutions. So at the moment, not many of our customers know, or your clients, I certainly didn't, that our stem cells become dormant as we age. And so this is really good because what it does is it reactivates those stem cells. Not many people know. Well, actually, many people know. It's a huge problem. There's many people struggling financially. I was one of them. Okay, I was one of them. I was a single mum, 15 years, started again at 47 after a divorce. And I literally had nothing but 4 kids and the clothes on my back. I had to restart again, figure out, through the years how to get a house and get a mortgage. And this is an income generating business. And when you share and you just share a product that works and you tell others, this actually I can and on home say that this business has paid off my mortgage. So my life changed in 3 years. But over those 15 years of having nothing, I was a wedding events coordinator to start with that, but I was prior to patching. So I just had a job, just over broke, paying mortgage, feeding the kids, doing all the things. But now I actually have time and time freedom, and that's something that's very, very special. Thanks. So in a conventional business now, I'm sure each and every one of you has a traditional conventional business. You know that it comes with a high startup cost, high risk, long hours, trial and error, and you have a limited earning potential. My son's just invested, one of my sons, $500,000 into a big gymnasium, beautiful gym, but it's a lot of input, a lot of foundational money. With LifeWave business, it's a low startup cost, there's zero risk. It's just the patches that you're wearing. You don't have to hold any stock. You do not need a garage full of stock, okay? It's just the product is sticking on yourself, and then your customers can buy direct from the company via your link. So you can make your own schedule, just add it to help your clinic, your clients in their wellness journey, and definitely has unlimited earning potential. So we just simply duplicate that. Thank you. We just simply tell others. So there's different prices they can come in if they want to become a brand partner. That's if they want to share with other people. Now, as a practitioner, you may prefer to do what Natasha said, and she brings in 5 to 7, preferred customers every week. I know she does because I just see, I help a lot of, they have questions about product. But so she just came in, she bought a pack that suited her and for her and her family. And then they just patch and then they got their results, and then she recommends it to clients, and the clients just sign up as a preferred customer themselves. They can start on one sleeve, a preferred customer, one sleeve. Each sleeve is $99.95, unless they do it retail. It's $149 USD, but $99.95 USD. We're talking in USD dollars. So I don't know the New Zealand conversion. I know I'm in Auckland, and many of you online are Kiwis here, but definitely the $295 USD for the 3 sleeves works out at about $480 Australian. So I think 500 New Zealand. The advanced, which is 6 sleeves, $535 USD, works out at 900 Australian, and obviously it goes up from there. And no matter what one you start on, I have a practitioner in Darwin, and he actually just came in on the premium. He got rid of them all to his clients, so they bought them off him initially, and then they all got these amazing results. So they then signed up as PCs. Preferred customers. So whatever way you start, it's just up to you. But you need to talk to the person who bought you a lot to explain how it works, how you get paid, and at least get your own products cost neutral, or create that legacy business, which you can do. In order to be paid, if you have a whole bunch of clients, then you need to have your own subscription. Obviously, we're going to run out of product. And if you only have 1 sleeve per month, maximum you can earn is $100. But if you have 2 every month, I mean, personally, I have 4 on every day. Different things, doesn't matter. But that does is it means that you can get paid the full compensation plan should you share it, whether it be a business or whether it be a customer. It really doesn't matter. It's all about helping the person out there to get well. Thank you. So the next slide is really just about, it's up to you now to make your move on what you want to do and how you want to share that with your people, with your clients, with your friends and your loved ones. And and now's the time to make that decision and talk to the person that brought you along. And I think the next slide actually just talks about sharing this with others, duplicating, and just people tell people who tell people who tell people, and you are compensated for that. So pretty much, I mean, there's a lot more to it in the business structure. If there's something in your laneway you'd be interested in. I'm going to bring back Deb. She's going to do Sally Ann with questions. Ask Sally Ann to come back.
Yeah, well, actually, I'd love for Sally Ann to share herself, just like Natasha did, around how she's incorporated it into her business. We've got a couple of people on the call, actually, that are already integrating into their business. So I'd love to hear from you, Sally. You've got the floor now. And then we'll move into a Q&A, and I'll just ask you some questions, and we can have a general discussion about it. Does that sound good?
Sounds good. Thank you. So After watching this transformation with my husband and my own well-being, I really obviously reached out to people that I know, loved, and trusted in my immediate circle and said, hey, I really think you should check this out. And the testimonies kept flowing back. And obviously, the more curious I got around what is the mechanism behind this? How is light really affecting us? I did that deep dive that I think most of us do when we sort of start to see these really miracles in some way. And there's a couple of ways that I integrated into the clinic. So obviously with the work that I'm doing, I do sort of session packages, but I'm having a conversation with people just around where are they at and what is it that they're looking to achieve from their health goals. And then there's two sort of the main pathway that I'm talking about from a customer point of view is just getting the technology on their body. So using the X39, really just starting there and using that in composite with what we're doing nutritionally and with lifestyle practices, etc. And what I've found really interesting is that sometimes, and we can all probably relate to this, we've all had a client that literally can't even nourish themselves because they don't have the energy to cook and they don't have the energy to do more than one thing. So quite often, if you're dealing with clients with chronic conditions, you know, a shower is often enough to just tip them over the edge. So what I love about incorporating the LifeWave technology into my business is that it's not another pill or a supplement or that somebody needs to swallow. It's something that they're putting on their body, they're wearing for 12 hours, they're staying hydrated, and I've not seen anyone have any harm. So for me, I have confidence in that there's that do no harm, and it's elevating what they're already doing. So at the beginning, if they're just starting with learning how to hydrate themselves, you know, then that's the first step. And then once we've kind of built that stackable habit, then we'll build, you know, how to plate up, and then we'll remove inflammatory foods for their body. And then but in the beginning, all of those changes can feel really overwhelming. So I love that this is something so simple. They pop it near their toothbrush to remind themselves to when they brush their teeth to put it on, and when they brush their teeth at night to take it off. And in terms of cost per day, it's actually an inexpensive technology that somebody can bring in that isn't confusing. Somebody recently gifted me a Healy device, and I just plugged in like it's like irritating and the updates need to happen and it's constantly, and I'm just like, I don't know how this was, you know, this was the world of frequency as we knew it 10 years ago, but now it's in a wearable patch. So having that freedom for clients to be able to get about their day but still be doing something for their well-being not only boosts their confidence, but it's boosting their energy as well. So how do I bring on customers? So there's a unique link that you get when you join as a brand partner in any of those packets or packages that Tessa mentioned. And you can either offer that link from a customer point of view to your customers, or if they would also like to join as a brand partner at some point in the future, you have a separate link for that. So I just keep those available for what solutions I'm talking through. I find that I just send them the link, and or I'll say, look, if you'd like me to get you started today, I'm happy to take your details and I'll pop it in at this end. Sometimes customers do have, or clients, you know, they're in overwhelm. They don't want to do another thing. So they're happy to just give you their credit card details and get it done. You can stock them retail. I just find that there's a benefit from them purchasing as a customer because they can enact a money back guarantee. So that gives them a bit of flexibility if they're feeling tapped out financially and they just simply haven't had any shifts. But I've never had anybody ask for their money back. So do you want me to just keep running through those questions, Deb, or would you like to ask me something specific?
Pick one. Yeah. So how are you bringing them on as customers, like in one of your consultations? How exactly do you broach it?
Yeah. So let's just say somebody books in for a health audit with me. We're running through some frameworks. I'm explaining to them how we work, or some practitioners might call that a discovery session. I'm kind of going through what are their goals, like how are they feeling, like out of 10, are they a 3 out of 10? Because if they're a 3 out of 10, perhaps the first place that I would get them started would be on the patches, because then they're going to get to at least a 5 or a 6 where they can start to incorporate some of those foundational strategies that we're going to start talking about. And then they need the headspace to be able to even get there, right? Particularly when it comes to meal planning or sourcing ingredients. So yeah. I just usually take their details over the phone or send them through the purchase link, the unique purchase link that I have as a brand partner.
Okay. And how much of your time is invested? So I'll just put my camera on. So how much of your time is actually being invested in finding brand partners and building the business? Like, so how much of a distraction is this from your core offerings? That's what I'm.
So I would say that I'm probably intentionally doing this business 5 hours a week. So that would include, team training. But I've set up a lot of systems, and we have a lot of team systems that we can benefit from. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel if you don't want to. Tessa's got some great systems. We've got great things that you can plug into to get equipped. But in terms of hours, I'd say I do 5 hours a week, with this business very intentionally. And then from there, more the practitioner work one-on-one. And I do incorporate some of those tools. Like if somebody is coming to me with chronic anxiety, then I'll usually say to them, hey, or if they've got an inflammatory diagnosis, like any of the arthritises or anything ending in IS, I will often say there's a tool here that we could bring in almost immediately with the X39, which is the Eon patch, to really support those inflammatory pathways, to let the X39 do the deeper work while we work on these three things. So I think it's, your clients best. From the practitioners that I have in my team, because I've been doing this now for 3.5 years, if they're body workers, so they do, massage or manipulative correction, they've often said to me that, or osteopathic clinics, they've said that they recognize that the manipulative correction lasts longer. So they're finding that their clients are able to maintain those corrections for longer intervals, which means that the practitioner doesn't need to see them perhaps every week, but maybe every second or third week. So I do some body work, but primarily it's remote. So it's really just about understanding what are your client goals and then being able to address them. But we've got lots of tools and resources around what patch does what.
Mm. Yeah, cool. And also, so how long has it taken you to build your business?
Look, ebbs and flows. I've got 2 young children, and we moved 2.5 years ago from a very significant farm to a property, and then I solo parented while my husband was working away for 7 months. So like my life has kind of rolled in ebbs and flows, but generally I've had a consistent income from this business, which has foundationally been more than most people earn part-time. And that's some weeks I've put in 0 hours, some weeks I've put in 10 hours. But it really, what's exciting to me is that it still feels like, for me, we're just getting started. So, it's so untapped. Everywhere I go, if I'm going to networking events, no one's heard of this technology, and it's still new. So that's what's exciting to me. Yeah. But I think, from a clinical perspective, what I loved about this was that I knew that by having this income ticking along in the background, whether or not I'm very intentional on it or not, it's something that covers my clinical expenses. So I know that all of the, like that foundational piece, those overheads that are going to come in no matter what, no matter whether or not you're doing one-on-one clients. So for me, that was a real big aha. I'm like, okay, so that's going to pay for the overheads, and then anything else beyond that is just profit.
That's fantastic. Really good point. And actually, the overheads for the LifeWave business are literally just the patches that you're using yourself, or you and your family are using. So that's a really low overhead as well. So it's certainly not adding to the costs of your business, is it?
No. And you from an integral point of view, you want to put the technology on your body. I find it interesting that a lot of people will say, I need to make sure that I get my own breakthrough before I share it with others, because the reality is, like, if I'd have waited for my own breakthrough before I put this technology on my husband, he would have suffered for another 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And that was if I'd made the connection between the patches and the hemorrhoid, right? Most practitioners, we didn't get into this business because we were healthy. We got into it because we generally have gone through a health crisis, and we have a bit of disconnect from our physical and emotional selves. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So are you a bit like Natasha in that you believe that you can build this business alone through taking on customers and not by building up, brand partners who are also wanting to build a business like you are?
I think so some changes happened within LifeWave that are incredibly exciting late last year. We had a compensation plan upgrade, and that really set the path for the momentum that I'm having in my business now. Because from my point of view, before we were always targeting just this brand partner packs, which were financially unavailable to a lot of people. Like, to ask someone to pay $500 to get the technology on their body, that's a big commitment, and then even more in New Zealand dollars. So, sorry, $295 USD, right? So in Australia, that was about 500 at the time. So inclusive of GST and shipping. So the fact that now we've got this model where we can either give people two clear pathways. It's either become a customer, you've got a money back guarantee option here, or become a brand partner if you're a natural carer and sharer, becomes a really elegant strategy to just say to people, like, if you have a breakthrough with this, there is an opportunity for you to come across and become a brand partner affiliate. And so that conversation now is so natural for me with the customers. I tend not to, if I've got a client that's actively patching in a nutrition, package, I generally won't talk about the business in that package duration, just because I don't want to muddy the waters. And again, like Natalie said, they're here for their health. But what I have found is that I've actually gained a lot of additional nutrition clients through the patching community, because people know of me and they're reaching out. So what you might find is that this actually expands your network for the modalities that you're doing, because you're in this community, because we're not all practitioners.
That's right. Yeah. So I know we can't make income claims, but I'm sure that everyone on the call is interested to know what's the potential in terms of income in say a 1 to 2 year period, and how in terms of bringing on customers and building it kind of slowly, and in terms of what that equates to in your personal effort.
Yep. So this is not an income claim because nobody knows your work ethic. But if you look at businessforhome.org, LifeWave is #1 business from home momentum company. We have been 2 years running, and that compares the growth of all other affiliate models, so any other direct selling models, to LifeWave. So we are #1 2 years running. If you look at the data set there, Steve and Gina Merritt have a disclosed income of $1.98 million US. And that's their annual income from this business, because they've got 30 years experience in this industry. Now, I do not. I've had 4 failed attempts at this before. The only thing that differs for me with this technology was, A, it's in alignment with my values. The inventor is aware of the human, the world events, shall we say.
Yes.
There is an anchorage in the biblical code and light frequency. We are light. It's one of the first things that were created. So for me, it's aligned with my values as who I am. I'm sharing the light of wellness. And so this is an alignment piece for me, whereas the other 3 may not have been a good fit. Consistently, personally, and this is not an income claim, this is what I've created, there has been an average income of at least $500 weekly from day one. And that's in Australian dollars. Now, that's not the maximum that I've made or the least amount, because it's varied, right? Like, there's been some weeks where I've been able to be way more intentional, and there's been bonuses, or I've been wanting to get to some of the trips that are on offer. I got flown to Vietnam, all expenses paid with my husband. We went to Korea when they opened the Korean market. And Tessa can tell you, I think she's been on half a dozen paid trips with the organization. Yeah. So if you want that, then that's something that you might goal for. But for me, for 5 hours a week, and if I'm not on 2 of those weeks every month, I'm still earning. So if you looked at the average hourly rate for the level of impact, and it's exponential. Like, I've now got a team of people that are going out sharing this technology using the tools that I've created. And so I'm seeing that duplication, but there's definitely been an upskilling. Like, when I learned about anatomy and physiology, I had no idea. And it was the same with network marketing. I really had to humble myself that I didn't know everything, and I needed to ask my support team, Tessa, Misha, for help. And they're there. Tessa's doing this 24/7. So if you need help it's available, but you need to be able to put up your big girl hand and say, hey, I want you to show me how to do this. What I love
this is the
about it,
important thing, isn't it?
yeah, you
Because
need
so
to
many
be,
of us that running our own clinics and our own businesses are so used to doing it all alone
on our own.
that a lot of us will discount this from the beginning because it just looks like another thing I have to take on. But actually, the beauty about this business model is that you've got this wider team to fall on, and you've got an incredible system to plug people into, right?
Yep.
Mm.
So I think for me, you know, we're naturally seeing the changes with the compensation plan benefit us now. So what's happening is customers are using the technology for, say, 6 to 8 weeks. They're having a personal breakthrough. They're getting excited about it on their own accord. And now we're saying to them, hey, would you like to come to these testimonial events that we have live every fortnight? Would you like to come to these other business events that we host live weekly to see the bigger picture? And they're saying yes. And then they're coming across into the brand partner land, and they're then, you know, enabling themselves and using the tools to teach themselves how to do this. So really, it's up to you. And I think if you're in a model, you know, before I had a health crisis, I owned an extremely successful real estate business in Sydney. And I got really sick, though, because of the lifestyle that I led. And that led me into the health and wellness space for the last 10 years. But what I would say is I was very familiar with passive income because I had a rent roll. And then when you sell the business, there was a transactional income, which I was then able to put into my pocket and then go and invest in other things. So what I would say is if you're trading your time for money right now, you definitely should be looking at an ancillary strategy to create an income while you're sleeping. And the only way to do this over a 3-way period without going and spending hundreds of thousands of dollars is a model just like this. And so if the technology and the business is in alignment with your values and you can see that this is a fit, I just encourage you to just join us and have some fun. Like the level of friendships that I've created in this business has just been amazing. I'm watching women with their lights coming back on and saying things like all the fragmented parts of myself have come home. You know, and just seeing women activate, and while they're claiming their own health, that, you know, 3 months in, they often go, I can see this as a business, let's go.
Yeah, I'm hearing, you know, I've got my mojo back.
Yes.
You know, it's absolutely.
Who doesn't want their mojo?
Who doesn't want more mojo back? Exactly. Hey, Andy, did you want to come and join us here and just have a chat as well with Sally? I'm quite keen for you guys to both have a bit of a chit chat about, you were saying, Sally, about, you know, regenerative wellness technology and how LifeWave is still such an unknown. It's certainly not a household name yet, although I'm certain it's going to be. But where does it sit within all the other regenerative wellness technologies coming through? Because you might work with others. I know Andy does work with others, and if you want to come and join me, Andy, this is Andy Douglas-Gowland. And she's started just implementing it, really, haven't you, in the last 6 months?
So my journey with LifeWave started with people approaching me and me dismissing it offhand. So basically, I do energetic biofield analysis. So I help people, I guess, as a health coach, sitting down with them, helping them understand what's happening in their body from an energetic point of view, where they've got blockages. And I'm on a mission to heal the world, which is a big claim, but one person at a time. And I've been wanting to focus on holistic lifestyle change as the methodology. So it's a bit resistant to the idea of anything external, creating anything external whatsoever on for my patients and clients. However, they kept asking, they're used to the prescription model, they're used to somebody saying, hey, can we have something now? Can we have something? And I realized that there's 75% of the people that I see are in stress and survival. They are struggling day by day. They do not have the capacity to actually change their lifestyle in the way that is ideal for them. However, Deb was about the 5th person that approached me. Even at the organisation I'm part of, Gaia Healers, we're a partner with LifeWave, and I still didn't go for it. But she was very persistent, and I'm glad she was, because now I'm able to actually work with my clients and actually give them a tool that they can use in between sessions, because I do frequency healing as well. As Sally Ann said, and I think our other speaker on the video, we don't have to be plugged into a machine. We can be going about our day, and Natalie said to us, patch and go, slap it and go. and I'm seeing results. My clients are getting results. And it's so easy to weave this into a conversation. So easy to get them on board to give it a try. And with the money back guarantee, there's no risk for them. So that's what I've been doing, and I find it really, really powerful. Signing up roughly 2 or 3 preferred customers a week at the moment, just through my clinic. That's not even trying to do anything outside of that. And bearing in mind, I'm only doing 1 day a week in that actual business as a health coach, because I do other things. Okay, yeah. Awesome, Andy, thanks. Yeah. And so just to finish off, Sally, do you want to just share us a little bit about your vision for your business and where LifeWave fits into it, and over the next, however many years? What's your vision?
Definitely just to keep doing what I'm doing. I mean, I can really see that there's a need in society right now for some additional income. And, there's so much happening in the world. Our water is not clean to drink. Our foods are not clean to drink. The air is not clean really to breathe. They've done studies now with the levels of aluminium that is found on the sweat, on the body after spray days in the sky, and it's increased 10%. So, no matter what you're looking at here, our body is under assault. And
we're up against it.
I hate to think of the world like that. I'd rather think of it from an empowered mindset of what can I do today to really support my body to methylate better my energy and my brain so that I can show up and serve, in my parental responsibilities, my marital responsibilities, and my community in a way that's meaningful for my life. And this technology has enabled me to, I'm studying 2 courses at the moment. I'm doing martial arts a couple of times a week with my kids. I'm going to the gym every day. I'm out and about. I wake up at 5, and so it's not the only thing that our clients are going to do. But what it does enable me to do is feel equipped to handle life as it's thrown at me and just know that I'm upregulated. So for me, this is definitely part of the picture. It took me a long time to really see elegantly how to integrate my modality of nutrition with this technology so that it didn't feel icky. But that was my own personal growth. So yeah, I think I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing. I mean, we've got a couple of 100 people in the team now, and there's lots of excitement and there's lots of transformations, and we've got the systems in Australia and New Zealand now to really support growth. So
absolutely, we do.
We've got our training wheels off, right? You guys,
we do.
You're incredible leaders. You saw it from the get-go. You've been running pretty fast, and you're there to support your crew. So that I'm the same.
Yep, the frustrating part's over, and now's the fun bit. Yeah, we get to go. So I think thank you so much. I've just popped in there. If anyone's got a question before we wrap up. Christine has mentioned, letting people know that hydrating is really important to help the process, right? Do you want to talk a little bit to that, Sally, for us?
So we are water, we're light and water. And so drinking clean filtered water, actually a lot of impurities leave the body through either fat, through, that gallbladder liver pathway, and or water, so our urine. So you want to make sure that you're staying hydrated. Cellularly, that's how our body communicates. So, and the fascia, our fascia needs hydration. When we're dehydrated, everything kind of contracts. And it's important that people are drinking clean filtered water, at least 2.1 litres for women. The standards for New Zealand and Australia is 2.6 litres for men. So daily clean filtered water.
And mineralizing it, right? So that's really super important, because it's the minerals that we need to get into the cells. And a great and easy way that I do that is by creating a salt solution, a saturated salt solution, essentially, and putting a tablespoon of that in my water bottle with my water, and I'm getting my minerals that way. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, if no one else has got any other questions, we're definitely going to wrap it up. Thank you. We've probably even gone a little bit over time, but thank you so much for your time, everyone, today. And just really want to encourage you to lean into this, look into it, do your due diligence, and definitely get back to the person who invited you to this call today. and just ask questions. This is a very, very viable extra income for you, your family, to bolster your business, add more tools to the belt, and as some of the ladies have been saying today, really create some security for your future, because we just don't know what's coming around the corner, do we? Be another pandemic, and we can't see people in clinics, etc. So, and we've got more. This is about our LifeWave events coming up this week. So we've got more LifeWave events coming up this week in Auckland, and one of them will be on Zoom again. So tomorrow here on Thursday the 28th in the evening in Meadowbank, we've got a product info session for anyone. This is just, for anyone who's curious and wants to take more control of their health. Then on Friday, again in Meadowbank, but at St Chad's, which is 38 St John's Road at 1 till 3. That's a session that we're running to helping support seniors, because we have noticed incredible results with our seniors. They really are the ones that tend to have the big one-patch wonder type stories, and they're, really incredible testimonials. And then we've also got Sunday, the 31st of May in South Auckland, that's Karaka, and that's at 1 till 3. But reach out to the person who told you about this today, because they will also know about those events. And thank you very much, everyone, for coming. And don't hesitate to reach out with more questions, and we hope to see you again. Thanks, everyone.